The moon was a spectral lantern floating behind thick, rolling clouds that blanketed the night sky. Each crack of thunder reverberated through the air, sounding like a cosmic beast drawing closer, its roars insistent and wrathful. The wind danced with treacherous whimsy, bitter and icy against the skin, as sheets of rain ravaged the earth below. It was on such a night that 5 adventurers found themselves standing before Gravedale Manor, a hulking relic from an era where opulence was marred by whispers of madness. The structure loomed in the darkness like a sleeping giant, its silhouette fractured by spider-webbed vines and weather-torn shutters that clung to its surface with desperate tenacity. Simon, the self-appointed leader, adjusted his rain-soaked hood and gave his companions a confident nod, though the twitch in his eye betrayed his hidden trepidation. Behind him, Lucy, a skeptic, with a penchant for debunking urban legends, muttered something about the folly of ghost stories as she tried to wring the water from her hair. "You call this an investigation, Simon? We're more likely to catch pneumonia than a glimpse of the supernatural," she grumbled, casting a dubious glance at the manor. Mark and Jenny, siblings with an unhealthy fascination for the macabre, exchanged excited glances. They were the ones most eager to embrace the mystery of Gravedale Manor. The tales they'd read spoke of a mad baron who, driven by grief over his lost love, had turned to unholy rituals, his cries echoing through the corridors even years after his death. Then there was Ian, a quiet observer whose eyes spoke of secrets best left unspoken. He regarded the manor thoughtfully, as if communicating with something beyond the tangible world. With little more than a shared look of steely resolve, they pushed open the wrought-iron gate, the screech of metal against metal, a harrowing dirge that sent shivers down their spines. As they approached the front door, Simon hesitated, his heart racing against his ribs. But it was too late for second thoughts now. The door creaked open on rusted hinges, revealing an entrance hall shrouded in darkness, so thick it felt alive. Their flashlights carved narrow paths ahead, illuminating motes of dust that danced like spectral figures in the damp air. The scent of decay was omnipresent, a cloying smell that clung to their nostrils like an unwanted guest. "Eerie," Jenny whispered as their footsteps echoed across marble floors. "But beautiful." The manor's walls were adorned with portraits whose eyes seemed to follow them, somber faces locked in frames, forgotten stories behind wooden borders. The air crackled with tension, an unspoken promise of things to come. Exploration led them deeper into the heart of the manor, each room a forgotten chapter of a tale laced with madness. In the dining room, a long table was set for dinner, ornate crockery undisturbed by time, though stains of dried crimson marked the tablecloth in macabre patterns. Lucy noticed it first. "Are those bloodstains?" Simon knelt to investigate, but was interrupted by a sudden, piercing scream that tore through the air, bouncing off the walls with feral fury. The sound was followed by a profound silence, the manor's skeletal structure seeming to hold its breath alongside them. Mark's face whitened. "What was that?" he hissed, gripping his flashlight until his knuckles showed bone white. Ian stepped forward, strangely calm, his voice barely above a whisper. "We aren't alone," he said. "Something knows we're here." When they turned, they found themselves staring down a long corridor, at the end of which stood a door slightly ajar. A faint, ghostly light spilled from it, beckoning them forward like a siren's call. With their hearts pounding a thunderous rhythm, they edged their way toward it, each step feeling like an intrusion into sacred space. Inside was a study, its walls lined with arcane tomes and scattered with papers, yellowed by age. A faint chill left a trail of visible breath floating before their eyes. But on the far wall was a mirror, an antique, ornate piece whose surface shimmered unnaturally, almost liquid, in its ethereal glow. Jenny reached out, curiosity overpowering caution, and with the lightest touch, the mirror rippled. Faces twisted in agony stared back, but they were not the faces of the 5 adventurers. Instead, they saw the mad Baron and his consort, locked in manic laughter, a twisted pantomime of torment. The manor groaned again, as if remembering its roots, and the world spiraled into chaos. Shadows leapt from corners, whispering foul incantations. Objects flew, as though caught in a malevolent tempest. The group stumbled backward, screams swallowed by the cacophony of supernatural wrath. In their panicked retreat, the manor seemed to reshape itself, corridors bending and elongating, trapping them in an endless maze. The malevolent forces had awoken, resurrected by their presence, and now Gravedale Manor demanded a price. As the storm raged outside, a distant memory of sunlight and freedom, the adventurers were swept further into a nightmare they could hardly comprehend. Morsels for the manor's insatiable hunger, their fates sealed within its haunted embrace.